Now, I can already anticipate that some of you are already typing down in the comments, mining's dead, or GPU mining's dead, or what's that daily profitability, or when's your ROI on that hardware? It's never, right? Or 5,000 days or something crazy like that. Or why don't you just buy the coin? Now listen, you're not wrong. Everybody has their own mining philosophy. Mine isn't any better than yours, and yours isn't any better than mine. But what I can say is that I love crypto mining. I love being a home miner. I love creating content about it, and I have all this hardware. So my philosophy is not to buy the coin, but to crypto mine. So keep that in mind, guys, as you watch the rest of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by the team at Bixbit.io. During the crypto bear market, it is crucial to push your ASIC miners to their full potential while maximizing profitability. The team at Bixbit is taking ASICs to the next level with their new ASIC firmware. Bixbit is currently the only major provider offering custom firmware for WhatsMiner as well as Antminer and WhatsPower. Get this, Bixbit's custom firmware can push your ASICs to the next level with up to 40% improved hash rate performance. That's insane. Bixbit also offers a state-of-the-art automated monitoring system, AMS, for all your Bixbit firmware miners. Bixbit is launching a bug bounty system where you get rewarded for finding bugs, as well as learn more by following the link in today's video description. Try Bixbit's firmware entirely free today. In today's video, you're going to learn what cryptocurrency I'm mining and why. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, I'm always curious, like, what is everyone else mining? You know, I always kind of think that. I'm always like second questioning, am I mining exactly what I should be or what I shouldn't be? Like, what should I touch? What should I not touch? And then I kind of remember, like, there's no playbook for the bear market. And a lot of the stuff that we as home crypto miners are mining isn't profitable in the moment, but there is some value to hodling it and building our bags for the next bull run. And in the last bull run, we kind of had a playbook, right? It was mine Ethereum, and it was simple, and it was so easy. And then now we're in the bear market, and it's like, what do I mine? So I'm always curious. Now, when you see what I'm mining today, don't take it as the golden truth or the Bible, like, hey, I need to be doing this. I don't know anything more than you guys do. I'm just a home miner. All right, so some quick details about my setup, because I think that's important before we get into everything that I have mining. So I'm a home crypto miner. I have a 200 amp panel. My home's about 15 years old, so it's not super new, but it's not that old. So I'm lucky to have a 200 amp. I know 100 amp is super common. In addition to that, I have 120 amps dedicated to crypto mining. And what that looks like is 4 30 amp 240 volt circuits set up and running with meter boxes so that I can monitor that electric rate all the time. Now, if you're curious about what my electric rate is, because that's a key factor right now, especially during the bear market, my electric rate is 7 cents. And if you guys are like, wait, what? I have a video on this, and I have a video on a ton of crap that I'm going to go over today. I'll put all of it down below in the video description. And hopefully you guys, any of this curiosity that you may find, like, why is this, or how does he have this set up, or how is this electric 7 cents? You'll find more details in those bigger videos, because this one's already going to be longer to start with. So I'm at 7 cents. As long as I stay above 22,000 watts, or if you're looking at your electric bill, that's 16,000 kilowatt hours. So 99% of my mining hardware is in my crypto mining shed. I've kind of gotten it almost all out of my home. I just have one currently in my garage, and that's it. Everything else is in that crypto mining shed. So first off, we're going to go down the list of all my mining hardware, what I have it on, how it's performing, and we're going to start with my GPU miners. But stay tuned till the end, because I think you're going to be really surprised what my Jasminers are getting paid out in. What's going on, miners? So future me here. I'm going through editing this video right now, and I'm like, holy cow, this thing is like 30 minutes long. No one's ever going to watch this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put chapters, and some really detailed chapters coming up on all the different crypto mining hardware that I'm going to be reviewing and talking about. And I know some of you guys are GPU miners, some of you are more ASIC miners, some really enjoy the mini ASICs. So check the chapters. They're on the side of the video or down below in the description, and pick what interests you the most. I think this will allow you guys to jump around and pick the content that you're most interested in, because I hate for you guys to have to listen through the entire thing and kind of lose your interest. Well, back to the video. All right, so we're going to start with our GPU mining rigs here. We have a variety. We'll circle back to some of the ASICs, but let's start at the very, very top. So this is a 𝗟𝐿𝐺 rig. This is an open frame 12 GPU mining rig. It has quite a variety of GPUs in it that you guys can see. We only have 10 GPUs total in this 12 GPU rig. Variety of different cards: 1660 Ti's, 3060 Ti's, 3070s, 1660 Supers, 3070 Ti's, a little bit of everything in this rig, even a 3070 in there. But all of this is currently on Flux, and we're mining to the Flux pool with this rig. Almost all my rigs that are mining Flux go to the Flux pool here. But as you guys can see, it's doing pretty good at 434 souls. All right, so my second GPU mining rig is one of my older Flux mining rigs here. And this one, I originally started in an open frame Veta frame, and now it's currently in an Octominer X8 Ultra. And this unit, we actually have one of the GPUs is off. I was having some issues with it, or not mining in the flight sheet. I just didn't include it. I do have to circle back around and investigate it. But we have 8 total GPUs in this rig, made up of a variety of 1070 Ti's, 2060s. Love the 2060, by the way, the Super I have in this thing, awesome. So a variety of different cards in there. I mean, you can see there that 2060 Super. This is on Flux as well, guys, but it's doing 56 souls, which is so kick-ass. So this rig currently right now is about 311 souls with that other GPU up and running. That'll put us pretty much right up around that 350 soul mark on Flux. All right, so I have a MinerDude X8. This is a server case. Those are the black ones that I have out there. This one I previously had on Conflux, but was having a lot of instability on it, so I swapped it back to Flux, significantly more stable. As you guys can tell, I'm pretty bullish on Flux of building those bags. This rig, I love this rig. It's made up of a variety of different 3060 and 3060 Ti's. It kicks butt. I mean, the 3060 Ti is a huge improvement over the 3060s. Now, this one's actually pretty good. As you guys can see, my 3060 Ti is at 50 souls versus my 3060s are at 32. But the nice thing is that these are super consistent and super stable overclock settings. With all 8 of these GPUs, that puts us at about 350 souls total on Flux. All right, my Octominer X12. This thing is just a beast. Like, I don't even know where to put this case. It's so big. It's so heavy. So we're currently running all of the AMD RX 6600s in this rig. I've had these cards on a variety of different things in the past. �CPAL algorithm based, Ravencoin, 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐶oin, Neoxo was a big one I mined for a while, but now we're actually all on Flux on this rig. And you can see these vary based off of the memory. We do a little bit better on the Hynix memory 2021. With your Micron memory, it jumps us down a little bit in the 19s, mid to high 19s. But look at those watts, 50, 60, 49 watts in the software. Now, granted, this is an Octominer, so the watts are accurate. But I mean, we have 12 of these, and our total watt usage on this thing, you know, if you take a look, is only 829 watts, which is crazy. So 244 souls for this 12 GPU mining rig on Flux. It's awesome. All right, so this one's a little bit different. Change it up a little bit. So this is actually a PoloMiner server case. I've gone the route of server cases because of density in my mining shed, plus the additional high RPM fans kick ass during the summer and spring when I need that additional airflow in my shed. So this is a PoloMiner, and if you guys are like, wait, I don't even know what that is, I'll put links to a lot of these rig videos down below, the hardware down below, so that any curiosity you guys can have, you can follow up after this video checking those out. So we have 2 different things we're mining on here, Neoxo and Flux. So Neoxo, we actually have on our Radeon RX 6500 XT. I did a video on the 6500 XT a year ago, maybe on Ergo, I think it was, and this GPU is just never really supported well in HiveOS. You know, it's a cheaper GPU. It came out after the 6600. The 6500 XT great. It's a good 1080 card for gaming, but it's only 4 gigabytes. So the challenge with that is like you don't have a lot that you can mine. So I thought 𝐷XA is perfect. So this is actually my only GPU on 𝐷XA. I used to have a ton more on 𝐷XA, but now I have 1 GPU. And my whole goal here is just to continue to build my bags on 𝐷XA. And this does it. 1 GPU, it does just under 9 mega hash, and it's only 34 watts in the software. I can't complain at all. The rest of these in here are some additional 6600s, as well as 6600 XTs. Now, I did look at different overclock settings because I know a lot of people get really deep into VDD or your power limits or your MVDD. And it's like, I could do that and tweak these per memory type for a lot of these 6600s, but they're not stable. So what I have found is like on these 6600, 6600 XTs, especially on Flux, just slap 950 into the memory and they run stable as can be. Now you might sacrifice a tiny bit of hash rate, but it's absolutely worth the stability in the long run. So Flux on this rig, 175 souls, and then 𝐶𝐵, which we're running on 𝐷XA, is just under 9 mega hash. All right, so Octominer makes a pro version of their server case, and that's what this one is in, another server case model. We have these are some of my favorite cards. These are those MSI Gamer X. Oh, I love these things. They're the GTX 1660 Ti's. They have like that gunmetal look to them. It almost reminds me of like it was inspired by like a fighter jet. And then it has the RGB on it. I love these things. I used to have all of these on Ravencoin a while back and swap them all now to Flux. And man, 238 souls for 8 of these, and they do well. I mean, we're 82 to 80 to 77 when it comes down to the watts in the software. So they do rather well, and they're completely stable. These things just run. Look at that uptime. They've been up for a month, and I probably took them down just to blow them out or to show off in a video. They just work, and I really love that. All right, so this is another Octominer, an X8, and I only have 3 GPUs in this, but I hope to get more here soon. I haven't bought GPUs in a while, but I'm hoping to finish off this rig. There's something, I don't know about you guys as miners, as completionists, but like there's something about having an 8 GPU rig that I only have 3 GPUs in it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need 5 more. I need to finish this off. But this rig is running some of my newest GPUs, but I still bought them, I think 6 months ago. And these are the RTX 3070s. These things, I mean, I've talked about 3070s on the channel many times. Many other content creators vouch for them and love them, and they do awesome. So the 3070s definitely do really well on Flux. Right now we're at 61, 62 souls. They perform really, really well. So that puts us at 185 souls for 3 3070s. I'm hoping to fill this entire rig out sometime soon. All right, and our last rig, this is another open frame rig. This is in a AAA Wave black GPU rig, and we have 8 total GPUs in this and some older cards, but I love these. I actually just did a video on these not too long ago. We have RX 580s with 1590 there at the bottom that you guys can see. Most of them are the XFX models, and we're mining 𝐶𝐵 on these. And these are awesome. They work really, really well. My goal with these, as I was overclocking these, was that 70 to 72 mark. And I hit it on almost all of these. There were a few oddities in here, like the 1 GPU, the Sapphire, was my big oddball out. Like it just, I even have it down on the core to 845 and it's still at 83 watts. It just didn't want to cooperate. So I just said, all right, fine. I'll deal with 80 some watts. But look at this, guys. We're running on 𝐶𝐵. I'm not super bullish on 𝐶𝐵. There's a lot of other content creators and miners I talk to in the scene that have a lot on 𝐶𝐵 right now, or especially solo mining 𝐶𝐵 right now. I mine what I feel has the most value down the road. And with those, it's funny because during the bear market, you're really spec mining and looking into these projects significantly more. Whereas in the bull market, you're just like, what is the most profitable, right? Like that's all we're asking and we're done. In the bear market, that changes all the time. So for me, as you guys can tell with the GPUs, Flux is definitely one where I am the most bullish on. I have the most faith in that project over the next few years. Now, some other ones in there that I kind of have sprinkled in there, like 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐸 or 𝐘𝐨 here. I was really big on 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐸 some time ago, and I just didn't, the direction of the project isn't as promising. I'm hoping they pivot back to be more in the original direction of that project plan. 𝐘𝐨 is something that I'm brand new to. I haven't put a lot of time and effort into it, but I like the direction that the project's going, and it could have some legs here in the near future. We'll have to see. But this one here, an 8 GPU rig on some older GPUs, which I love. I'm trying to get all my GPUs back up and running, even my older ones. 1.14 gigahash on 𝐘𝐨. All right, so that's all my GPUs, all my rigs, everything I have up and running. I'm about 64 total GPUs in my farm. I still have about another 10 that I'm currently going through the process of repadding, repasting, cleaning them entirely, replacing fans, and then I'm going to get those back up and running as well. So that'll put us about that 74 mark. And then I'm looking at getting a few more of the 3070s. So I'm thinking probably over the next 6 weeks to 8 weeks, we'll be right up around that 100 GPU mark. All right, so now let's talk about our ASICs. So to start out, the first one, of course, here is the Bitmain Antminer S19J Pro. Now, this is the 100 terahash unit. There's multiple different S19J Pro models. I have the 100 terahash unit. I'm mining, it mines Bitcoin, if you guys aren't familiar, and I am mining it to F2 pool. Now, I've started playing around a little bit here and there with third-party software, more specifically firmware, and I've had a lot of fun overclocking this unit. To give you guys a quick teaser, it's 100 terahash right now stock, but I was able to get it up to 122 terahash. I even saw a spike of 130 terahash, which is crazy. I'll have a video on that in the upcoming near future. I'm excited to share that to you guys. All right, so another miner that I have, and this one actually, huge shout out to ASIC Jungle. They actually provided this to me and another video for content as well as a promotional item. And that is the WhatsMiner M30S Plus. Now, the nice thing is about this unit, and I'm excited about it, is I'm actually giving this unit away entirely free. I actually have a full giveaway running right now when you guys are checking out this video. We're giving it away in under 30 days to one of you guys. So I'll put a link down below to that video, to that contest. Go check it out. This is a Bitcoin miner, and it's no joke. It's 100 terahash. And it does 3,500 watts. Now, mine actually isn't 100 terahash. There's 3 different modes on this unit. Mine is on the high mode, so it's at 109 terahash at 3,500 watts, which is crazy, and it's on Bitcoin. I've been loving this unit so far, and I can't wait to give it away to one of you guys. All right, so now let's talk about some of our mid-size ASICs. So we have 3 of those total. 2 of those are the Bitmain Antminer L3 Plus, and I actually have 2 of those here. They are on the 𝐕𝐝𝐼𝐽 firmware. You can see them are actually right in the software here, which is great. It's great for monitoring and for overclocking and getting alerts if there's any problems or anything. So those are right here. Now, it's a little bit different, some of the stats that are on this page, because I actually am using the 𝐕𝐝𝐽 firmware as I talked about. So we're actually at 504 megahash at only about 660 watts. That's the nice thing about the 𝐕𝐝𝐽 firmware. If you guys haven't loaded any third-party firmware on your L3s, I highly recommend it. I don't recommend running these stock. If you guys need a guide or a video, I'll put it down below. I loved getting these over to the 𝐕𝐝𝐽 firmware. There's also some other ones out there. The Brains one is another really good one out there that I think some of our overclockers and undervolters really enjoy using. A lot of tools and utilities there. I really like the 𝐕𝐝 option just because then I can view it, monitor it, within 𝐕𝐝, and it just works, which is really nice. So we have 2 of those. As I said, 504 megahash, 660 watts, a little bit more at the wall if you're measuring it at the wall. And these are script miners, so they mine Doge and Litecoin. And, well, I'm sorry, it's script mines, but you get paid out in Doge and Litecoin, which is really nice. You know, allows you to diversify. Litecoin's an older coin, has been out for a long time. Dogecoin is newer, has a little more volatility to it. So it's nice to be able to build those bags on both of those units. Now, that third ASIC I talked about, mid-size ASIC, is the Goldshell X5. Now, this is kind of similar to your L3 Plus, but the difference is this is a beast. So this guy here does, if you take a look, does. Right now we're at 868. It's kind of advertised at 850 mega hash. Remember we talked about the L3 was only at 504, but the watts on this is crazy at 1,450 watts. Now it does have 3 mining modes on it. In the miner here, if you come in, you actually have 3 different modes. So like the balanced mode is a little bit easier to swallow with it. I think it's like 600 mega hash at 600 watts. It's a little bit easier, but this thing's a beast. I love this thing. I actually got this guy originally from over at Coastal Crypto Mining, and this one's worked great. It's a lot of hash rate, but it's also a lot of watts, but I have enjoyed mining with it. It is a script miner as well. So we're getting paid out in Doge and Litecoin. You'll find with some of these ASICs that I'm rather bullish on Dogecoin and Litecoin. Someday I'd love to get my hands on an L7, but I'm also super hesitant because I'm like, is an L9 around the corner and just going to blow this away? But I really do think Dogecoin has a lot more opportunity down the road. Litecoin's more that stable old timer style coin, OG coin, but I am trying to build my bags on Dogecoin the best I can. All right, so now let's get into some of our mini ASICs. You know, we kind of full size, then we jumped into mid size. Now we're in our mini ASICs. So we have a number of these. I'm gonna try to bang through these a little bit. So we have 4 of the Goldshell mini Doges, those original ones that came out. These guys, if you guys aren't familiar, they're perfect. You can kind of mine with them even on 120 volt. And they are more script miners, Doge and Litecoin at the same time as well, which is nice. These guys here, they're actually not as powerful, but they're at 185 mega hash. And then the watts is really nice though, because the watts here is something at like 230 watts. So they don't use a ton of watts. They don't put out a ton of power. Their profitability is very minimal at this point, but combined together, it allows us to stack up a decent amount. Now we do have one of the mini Doge Pros, a little bit more when it comes down to your profitability currently in the bear market. You know, profitability is a rough thing to talk about or a thing to look at. You know, I try not to keep my crosshairs or my focus on daily profitability. And it's more like, okay, is this going to help me build my bags down the road? Now, the Mini Doge Pro, I don't even think the original Mini Doges are sold anymore. The Mini Doge Pros, though, those are a little bit beefier. Those do 205. So they do about 20 mega hash more, and their hash rate is actually only about 220 watts. So they've improved the efficiency on them, and they do about 20 mega hash more, which is really nice. All right, so the next 3 boxes, some of these you might be like, wait, what? So let's take a look, okay? So the next one is the Goldshell KD Box Pro. This isn't the 2, not the newer one, but the original KD Box Pro. We have one of these. It does about 2.6 terahash, and it's about 230 watts. Now, it doesn't do a ton in profitability, especially right now with some of these new K-series models that have come out from Bitmain. They're just crushing that hash rate there, but it does the trick for just building a little bit of that 𝐓𝐨𝐽 bag. Now, the next one is an oldie, guys, an oldie. I got this well over 2 years ago. This is the Goldshell HS box, and this actually mines either Handshake or Cycoin. Now, I have mine on Handshake, which is a little more power intensive, but I mean, these things, they're hard to come by now. I don't even know if you could find them. I think most of them are going to be like secondhand on eBay or other sites like that. But this one does 235 gigahash on only about 230 watts, which is great with this guy. And once again, I have it. I want to run it. I'm just building that bag. I'm not converting it. I haven't sold any of my Handshakes since I started mining it 2 years ago. Now this guy here, man, this guy here is a totally different story. This is the Goldshell ST box. Do any of you guys know what that is? It's a Starcoin miner, and it does 14 kilohash, but guess what? Only 61 watts. Now, I have this on DX pool. There's only 2 pools out there, and you can only mine to one of them, and the one is DX pool. There's like over 3,000 miners on DX pool right now because it's the only pool out there. So for anyone mining Starcoin and you're one of those 3,097 people, kudos to you because you're part of the Cool Kid Club. Poolin used to have this available, and then when the bear market hit, Poolin went ahead and closed down a bunch of pools for some of these smaller coins, and Starcoin kind of went by the wayside. So it is what it is. I'm just continuing to build the bag on this. I mean, especially for 61 watts, that's like, what is that? A few light bulbs or something, like stupid, like that's crazy. So I might as well run with it. All right. So the next set of miners that we're running, these are I don't even want to call these mini ASICs because they definitely use a lot more watts. They're a little bit bigger. They're not as crazy as mid-size ASICs, but they're kind of at medium between the mini ASIC Goldshells and like a mid-size like Bitmain. And that's the Goldshell CK Box 2. This is my first miner that mines Nervos, which is great. I don't have anything else out there. This is the CK Box 2 that just came out not too long ago, but it does use a lot more watts, 400 watts. So not only is the size a little bit bigger, but the wattage is a little bit bigger as well. And it does do 2.1 on Nervos, or terahash on Nervos, which I'm really happy with. And I'm eager to see where it goes. I haven't mined this before. I just started getting into it. Now, granted, some of those K-series Bitmains just came out and they're kind of destroying the difficulty in the network right now, but I thought I might as well just build this bag a little bit at a time. Now, the second one I actually have two of these. This is the KD Box 2. Same kind of release time period as that CK box. This one here as well, affected by like your K7s and stuff like that are out there. It was doing a lot better before that model dropped only a few weeks after I got it. This one does 5 terahash at about 400 watts as well. And my whole mindset is building the bags, like building my bags. I'm all about. I haven't really taken the time at all over the last 2 years to consolidate and swap. And there's a lot of you guys that like swap per day or per month or per week and swap into Bitcoin or swap into something else. I've just been like hodling a lot of this and holding on to a lot of this. Now, I'm really excited about these two different types, the CK box and the KD box, because these are like that next evolution of those mini ASICs that we saw previously. And now we're talking at the terahash level. So they definitely have more horsepower behind them. All right, so we're almost wrapped up here, and we're going to jump to our Jasminers in just a minute. But we do have some IPollos, so I thought I'd go over those. So we have the IPollo G1 Mini. I got this not too long ago, and this unit is solo mining. And the reason I went with solo mining was because I was looking at the philosophy behind solo mining and hitting blocks. If you hit a block, it pays out about 59.1 Grin. This is a Grin miner. A little change up from some of those other items there. And we started pretty strong with hitting blocks, but it's really faded. And I'll have to look at it. I'm planning to do a 30-day video on this unit to go over how many blocks I've hit in a 30-day period, but it's nowhere what I expected. So for the cost of these units, they're not super expensive. I think they're like just under $200. They barely use any watts out there. If I take a look at some of the stats, it hashes at 1.2. They call it, I think it's like graphs per second is what that stands for, the GPS. And it's only 120 watts, so nothing too crazy. So we might as well build our Grin bag. I may swap this over to pool mining because solo mining has not been as profitable as what it was. A lot more people are solo mining with these. We'll really have to see. Now, other IPollos, I have them on NiceHash, which has actually worked out really well. And on NiceHash, I have 4 different types. We have the IPollo Mini SE, the IPollo Mini Gold, the IPollo Mini Classic, and the IPollo Classic Plus. All these names that all run together. In total, we have 4 of these units. These units, they're Ethereum Classic miners, and they're super efficient when it comes down to like hash rate to your watt ratio with these. So taking a look at some of our stats here, we have 4 different ones on NiceHash. We're mining Ethereum Classic, but we're getting paid out in Bitcoin right through NiceHash here. Per day, we're averaging about $2.14 with these. But to give you guys some ideas, in total, we're about 950 mega hash on Ethereum Classic with all 4 of these. And yeah, we're just building our bag with NiceHash, which is great. Just building that Bitcoin. I don't have a lot of faith in Ethereum Classic, so any of my Ethereum Classic miners, these 4 here, and then I'm going to talk about 2 more here, the Jasminers, I'm not getting paid out in Ethereum Classic at all. I have no faith in that project. I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going to balloon at all. It's just, I haven't seen the project go anywhere. So in my perspective, I got these miners. I might as well use them to mine one thing and then get paid out in another. With these 4, it's NiceHash to Bitcoin. And now let's talk about my Jasminers, because I think these I'm most intrigued about and excited about. All right, so now let's talk about our Jasminers. So our Jasminers, we have them, and they're Ethereum Classic miners, so we might as well put them to work. But I'm not getting paid out in any Ethereum Classic. This is a great opportunity where I talked about NiceHash with my IPollos, where I'm using Unminable with our Jasminers. So that being said here, This one's actually a pretty beefy unit. It does 540 mega hash and only 240 watts. Now, it does make that high pitch, squealy sound to it. It's a bad design, to be honest with you. But we went ahead in a previous video 2-3 weeks ago. We removed those fans and replaced them. We cut into the top and put some 𝐸𝐞𝐬 fans. Oh my gosh, silent as can be now. Now, we're mining Ethereum Classic, as I said, but I don't want Ethereum Classic. So we're actually getting paid out in Dash. So Dash right now holds a value of $70 as of February 25th. I was amazed. I didn't expect it at all. And with Dash, the reason I went with Dash was because, one, I started to see like some of the news on like the E9 coming out and things like that. I'm like, what? Like, I haven't heard Dash in years. And I was like, let me look into it. Well, guys, Dash is up over 40% over the last 30 days. And I was like, okay, am I missing out? And is this another opportunity for me just to build a bag? So we've been building our bags here. I got paid out, taking a look on Unminable. If you guys are like, what the hell is Unminable? Check out the video as well down below. It allows you to mine any coin and then get paid out in any coin of your choice, regardless if it's proof of work or proof of stake. So taking a look here, every 3 days, I'm getting a payout on Dash of about 0.06. Our last one was 0.07 of Dash per day. And my whole goal here is, I don't think Dash is going to go through the roof, but I'm like, okay, Dash in a bear market is $70. So I'm like, okay, holy cow, you know, what could Dash get to? And is now a good opportunity to use this Ethereum Classic miner that I have that is a decent amount of horsepower to just build that bag. That's my goal. You guys have heard I've said build that bag like 1,000 times in this video so far. So my last miner to talk about today is this guy. Whew! This here is the Jasminer X4Q, one of the quietest miners out there, honestly. You don't hear this thing. You can put it anywhere. It puts out a decent amount of heat, nothing crazy, not like a full-size ASIC. But guys, this guy here does just over a gigahash of Ethereum Classic hash rate at 480 watts. That's nuts. So once again, Ethereum Classic, we don't want it, blah, blah, blah. But what am I mining with this, right? Well, I'm mining Algorand. And I'm mining Algorand because I heard on the latest Flux State of the Union, they were talking about the next parallel asset to be added to it. And they talked about Algorand. And I never heard of Algorand. So I started to look into it. Algorand's worth about 25 cents right now. And it's being picked up more and more. Algorand is one of those transactional utility cryptocurrencies. It's proof of stake. And it actually has, it's very, I shouldn't say too similar because I might have the XRP army get mad at me, but it does have some similarities to XRP being used in traditional finance and in the banking industry for transactions. It's super fast. I've transferred between wallets and it was under 30 seconds, bam, bam, between clicking, which is great. So I've just gotten more interest in Algorand. I saw more recently that like Italy had an announcement with the Bank of Italy partnering with Algorand. So I'm like, okay, does this have some future opportunity to it? So I've started mining Algorand, or should I say mining Ethereum Classic, getting paid out in Algorand. So I did have my payout set. That's why there's one here. It says 85 Algorand. That was not in one day. In one day, usually your payout's about 10 Algorand there, which does come to several dollars a day, which is awesome and works out well. And I don't have any Algorand, as I said. So I'm like, great, let's take this opportunity. And yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. I mean, with the 2 Jasminers, I like having the opportunity, and that's why I've been really utilizing Unminable to bounce between these different coins where I'm like, ooh, that one's interesting. Let me go ahead and bounce to that. So if you haven't checked it out, Unminable is pretty cool. These are all the different, I think there's over 40 different coins that you can go ahead and build your bags with. And I thought, why not? You know, so every so many weeks, I'm just picking a different algorithm and swapping up to that and just stacking some of my bags. Maybe one of them will pop in the future. We'll have to see. All right. So that video went way too long, and I'd be really impressed if any of you stayed till this long in the video. If you did, kudos to you. I do appreciate it. I'm always curious. I personally love these types of videos because I'm always curious on what other people are mining. Everything you heard is just speculation for me. It's just me getting involved in the scene. I mean, I'm no OG. I don't come with any background in finance. I'm just some guy on YouTube making videos. So don't go following my path unless you're like, oh, that interests me, then go for it. Absolutely. But I'm going to ask you guys to comment down below because I want to know. I'm curious. What are you guys mining? Now, I know a bunch of you guys might not be mining. That's okay. Leave a comment. Tell me, I'm not mining right now. My electric rate is too high. Or I'm mining Ergo. Or I'm mining Ethereum POW. Like, I'd love to just know what you're mining and why. And you can be honest. If you're mining this algorithm and this coin because it's the most profitable or it says it's the most profitable daily, that's okay. I love to know why. Leave that comment directly down below. Well, I have chatted on for a while now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Guys, if you guys have and you want to see more videos like this, I can do more of these throughout the year, giving you guys kind of an update. Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, give it one of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.